Ottawa announced this today. Looks to relocate thousands of asylum seekers to provinces from Ontario, Quebec. Thousands of them. What is happening? What is going on? Why this announcement? After the NDP dropped out of the supply and confidence deal, why would they be touching on something like immigration at a time when they're about to go back to the House? It's going to fire people up. It's going to get people frustrated and annoyed. Like, why are we coming out and being proactive on this? Well, I think we'll about to find out. Remember last week or last Tuesday, we talked about the Bloc kind of, all right, see the NDP out, Bloc fits right in. And one of the things the Bloc came out and said is that one of the deals they're trying to get going is how can we have more control over immigration within Quebec? That was one of the big things they wanted to have a conversation about. So when you look at some of these figures, we'll take a look here. So right now, this is the asylum seeker distribution chart. So we're going to be looking right now. We'll start with Ontario and Quebec. Ontario is at 105,000 asylum seekers, and they're going to be going down to about 91,046. So they're going to be losing close to 14,000 of them. Quebec, on the other hand, has around 99,500 asylum seekers, and they're going down to 51,882, leaving them with a decrease of 47,671. Shout out to my Atlantic provinces. New Brunswick's going from 384 to 4,600. You're getting 4,000 more people on you. PEI. Oh, poor PEI. 44. They have a lack of resources as it is. You're getting 943. So you're getting an increase of 900. Nova Scotia, we're at 397. We're going up to 6,100. So that's a plus of 5,734. Newfoundland, you're at 291. You're going up 3,066, which with an increase of 2,775. BC, you're going down. These numbers don't seem totally right, but you're going to be seeing an increase of 21,000 coming up for you. Oh, sorry, yeah. You're at 11,500. You're going to increase to 32,500, which is going to be about 21,000 increase. Alberta, you're going from 9,700 to 27,800, which is about 28,000. Saskatchewan, you're going from 500 to 7,000. And Manitoba, you're going from 1,378 to 8,490. So you can kind of see this chart here where it's increasing and it's decreasing. So there's only really two provinces that are decreasing and everyone else is increasing exponentially. You can see them all right here. So Ontario's going down to negative 13%. Quebec's going down negative 47%. You have New Brunswick going up 1,098%. You have Nova Scotia going up 1,444%. And PEI going over 2,000% increase. The Atlantic provinces are going to get hit hard. We are known as the know-nothing provinces. The nothing provinces. We've always had a struggle with resources ever since the mines closed down. And it's always been a harder time to make a living out here. We are already having a serious difficult time with the immigrants that we have right now. With just being able to house them, being able to make sure they have enough doctors, make sure they have enough resources to be able to enjoy their life here. Now we're bringing in more. And this is the solution they're bringing us. We're not going to decrease the amount of people we're bringing in. We're actually going to keep bringing in the same amount, but now we're just going to try to lessen the burden on Ontario and Quebec and then increase the burden everywhere else. Ontario and Quebec are feeling it, but so is everybody else. We just don't have enough room and can't house everybody. That's really the concern here. That's the problem. But Mark Miller says differently. Ottawa is considering a plan to relocate thousands of asylum seekers. According to a federal government briefing document obtained by National Post, 235,825 people are seeking asylum in Canada, with the bulk making their claims in Ontario and Quebec, Canada's two most populous provinces. But if Canada were to find a way to distribute asylum seekers around the country based on provincial populations, similar to what premiers asked for following a July meeting, tens of thousands of refugees would be spread out around the country. Alberta, for example, would receive nearly 28,000 asylum seekers. British Columbia would receive more than 500,000. And Nova Scotia would see 4,952 refugees. The reality is that Quebec and Ontario are facing disproportionate pressures compared to any other province in the country, as they've been welcoming the majority of asylum seekers, said Renee LeBlanc, a proctor, a spokesperson and immigration minister to Mark Miller's office in an email. The briefing document, LeBlanc Proctor said, is meant to help guide discussions between ministers and asylum seekers. Blaine Higgs, New Brunswick, voicing their displeasure. They're not particularly happy with taking on this amount of people. In late July, Quebec's then Immigration Minister Christine Fréchette wrote to Miller suggesting that the federal government adopt a quota system for each province, setting out a number of asylum seekers each will receive based upon their capacity to do so. That's a key word, capacity. The letter, as reported by CBC News, urged the federal government to restrict asylum seekers' work permits to specific provinces in order to ensure they moved or refused to cover accommodation costs except in the specific area to which the asylum seeker was told to move. Speaking to reporters at the Liberal caucus retreat in Nanaimo, BC, Miller, the federal immigration officer, called Higgs' comments irresponsible and said it was dumb for someone to have leaked the working document. Miller said Ontario and Quebec have been magnets for arrivals of asylum seekers, but that housing refugees in federally funded hotels hasn't worked well and is expensive. Interesting. He said Ottawa is looking at a model with a carrot and stick incentive that would push provinces that are reluctant about accepting a larger share of asylum seekers. There's only so far the federal government can actually be nice and say, please, please, Miller said. We also have levers that we need to pull and push. We have a number of provinces, it's no surprise, that have no particular interest in taking asylum seekers. We have some where there is interest, but they also have questions with respect to financial compensation, Miller said. So bringing the provinces is an important part of being responsible, and as a federation, we would expect New Brunswick to be responsible and step up. That comment by the Premier Higgs was highly irresponsible. That right there pretty much sums up this government. We're going to do this even though it's a terrible idea and people are struggling. And if you don't get on board, well, we have other ways to deal with that. And we're going to take care of you. We love these veiled threats coming from the Liberal government. And people are struggling. People are hurting. And the people who are coming from these other countries, we've said it time and time again. I feel the nausea. I hate that I keep kind of hitting the same point, but it's true. I don't think we're actually making their lives better. In some ways, I think we're making their lives worse. And what are we to do as a community? We're stretched beyond our means. Resources tapped to the brim. And yet they keep bringing in more people that essentially will be on the street. No job, no resources. What do you expect them to do? That was electric, wasn't it? Well, we enjoyed it. Hope you did too. If you did, you can check this video out here to the top right corner right near my window. Get over. There it is. There it is right there. And if you liked that, you can also check this one right here. We love you. Have a good one. Peace out.